So if you've ever tried to engage with the Bible, maybe one of the places you've got stuck is with which translation to start with. I mean, there's so many, it can kind of feel a little bit overwhelming. Something that might be helpful to know right off the bat is that the collection of 66 documents that make up the Bible were originally written in Hebrew, Greek, and a little bit of Aramaic. So it was important that they're translated into English. And here's where I'd start if I were you and you're trying to figure out where to go. If you're new to faith or you're exploring it, I'd start with what's called the Message translation of the Bible. If you're looking for something to read devotionally, I'd start with what's called the NLT translation or the New Living Translation. And if you're someone who's exploring from a Bible study or looking for a bit more of an in-depth study, I'd go with the ESV or the English Standard Version. And if you want to know why specifically I'd go with those three translations, then head on over to our YouTube channel and I'll explain in a little bit more in depth. And if you are on our YouTube channel, run the intro. So when you're trying to figure out what translation of the Bible to read, if you're an English speaker, it's important to know that there's three broad categories of translations: paraphrases, dynamic equivalents, and literal equivalents. And in the rest of this video, I'm going to explain the difference between those three to help you figure out the best place to start. So a paraphrase, kind of like the name suggests, gives an overview or the big idea that's going on within that passage. And this is things like the Message translation or the Living Bible. They'll give you a good general sense of what's happening in that passage. And if you're new to faith, this is a fantastic place to start. Dynamic equivalents are translations like the NIV or the translation I personally read, the NLT. And they try to highlight the main idea that's going on in the passage while still giving it a really smooth read. They're super easy to read. They make a lot of sense. I like to teach out of them if I'm teaching in a large group setting because it's really easy for people to track along with. Then there are literal translations like the NASB or the ESV, where scholars have attempted to translate from the original languages literally into the English language. And these might be a little bit clunkier to read, but that's why they are the way that they are. The one thing to keep in mind when choosing a translation to read is really simple. Pick one that's helpful for you. One of the beauties of being in the English-speaking world is that there are so many scholars who have set about this task, and so as a result, we have so many translations. So pick the one that works for you and go for gold. And if you have any follow-up questions to this video, just pop them in the comments below, or if you're not someone who likes to comment on things publicly, then you can just head on over to my Instagram @ChrisPodlick and you can shoot me a DM, and I would love to help you navigate this a little bit further.